right now they've told us not to be concerned, but we're going to stay open no matter what.
Concerns are growing tonight about a potential government shutdown and the effects that it could have in the metro. Some nonprofits are worried about potentially hitting hard times. That partial government shutdown could come at 11 o'clock Saturday night, Kansas City time. I'm Kevin Barry.
And I'm John Holt. It would mean millions of federal workers not being paid, including thousands right here in our metro. Fox 4 Sean McDowell live outside the downtown IRS complex, where employees, Sean, are safeguarding against a shutdown.
John, you may not realize it, but the federal government is actually the largest employer in the Kansas City metro, boasting just over 20,000 employees. A shutdown would affect agencies like that one, certainly, and it would also affect agencies that we know around town, and certainly services that we use, like the Truman Library in Independence, or getting your passport renewed through the Department of State at the federal level. However, it's more grassroots agencies like nonprofits throughout the metro that we all use when times are tough that are really worried.
Obviously, if the shutdown goes for 2 weeks or longer, then you begin to get folks who are severely hurting and really struggling.
They see people in seemingly hopeless circumstances at Metro Lutheran Ministries. This nonprofit is a food pantry and a resource for people who can no longer feed their families or pay their rent.
And suddenly, all of those things become emergencies.
Scott Cooper is this nonprofit's CEO. He's concerned the potential government shutdown could affect the funding this agency receives from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Cooper says Metro Lutheran Ministries serves 50,000 people per year.
You can see that if families that are working and supporting their families on some sort of government income, and suddenly that is shut off, then they may be living paycheck to paycheck.
The most recent government shutdown happened in 2018 and lasted for more than 30 days. Some employees at federal offices like the Federal Reserve and the Federal Building in downtown Kansas City worked without being immediately paid.
We need to make sure that our children have what they need.
Operation Breakthrough leaders are also concerned about funding that comes via the Department of Health and Human Services. CEO Mary Esselman says this office is a primary food source for many children facing food insecurity. Esselman says her agency can't shut down.
We have too many vulnerable children and families that depend on us. So whatever happens with the government, we're going to be here and we're going to be operating.
The shutdown won't affect a number of commonly used federal services, including SNAP and WIC, the IRS, aviation services such as the FAA and TSA. The military will remain active too. Also, Social Security benefits and Medicare and Medicaid checks will still go out. And one other service that isn't expected to be affected by a potential shutdown is Kansas City's VA hospital. A union rep representing the employees at the hospital explained earlier for Fox 4 News that the hospital is funded on a 2 to 3 year continuum, and it doesn't depend on annual funding from the federal government, so it should be open for business rather than being affected by any shutdowns. John, it's going to be a tense weekend as everybody focuses on Capitol Hill.
Tensions rising for sure. Sean McDowell live at the IRS complex.